couple of questions now for Mrs. Dragomir. As sustainable employment is an important issue in the Balkans, please explain for us the various types of employment that are created in your country by wind energy development through the delivery of components to the destination site, the assembly and maintenance of the wind turbine systems. And the second part of the question is, what are the major challenges to wind energy growth?
Thank you for the introduction. Development of a wind project takes time, and depending on the legislation can take from 3 years to 7 years in various countries in Europe. In Romania, the average implementation time of the project is around 3.5. maximum for 4 years. It's depending, of course, on the maturity of the developer and also the strength of the final investor. What we saw that at the beginning there is no expertise at all in the country. So practically the first examples or experience were coming from foreign countries, the more developed, Germany, Austria, Denmark, coming to the early development, coming with their specialists and consultants. Easily after or immediately after the first foreign developments, was really clear, as was also clear for Vestas, that we need also to give more power to the people in the country, because there is quite experienced labor workforce, even not effectively for that system, but anyhow in the energy market, even conventional energy market. So we will start looking on alternatives from the existing market. Into the initial phase of the development, you will use universities, you will use research institute for all the design of wind farm, and I'm talking here of civil design institute, electrical design institute, because you need of this kind of studies. You need also meteorological report, you need geological reports. So there are high professionals which are working on this, and on which we are relying almost 100% with local competencies. Then when you are moving practically to the execution of the projects, once you have everything developed, it's clear that a part of, let's say, components manufacturing, which major part is coming from the region, but you would need support in the transportation, you would need support in the installation, and major over the lifetime, which is 20 years, you would need maintenance. All these activities you will do with local companies, with local subcontractors, which are construction companies, which are service providers of various things, from let's say maintenance of the high voltage lane, maintenance of the substations, maintenance of the roads, security, auditing, environmental audit. All these kind of activities are required for the lifetime of a project. If you are comparing let's say in the capex equation, it's clear that the major investment is done from abroad and is going back abroad. But on the OPEX equation, you'll see that over the lifetime, and we've made a calculation, more than 16% of the revenues of the generation are remained in the country, because are paying back all the services which are performed in the country. And from here is coming the benefit of the industry, and it's also coming with a learning curve and with an experience which afterward can be shared into the region. This would be to answer, I think, to the first question. As I mentioned initially in the intervention, we have local workforce. Was quite tough at the beginning, because we didn't have experience on the market with local engineer and local employees. Everything was part of a training program which was developed and conducted in the factories within Europe. But now there is what we saw in the market, there is an industry, there are professionals, and we are moving to the next step on which we are building up the required standards from electrical side, from safety point of view, in order to have sustainable production and avoid unpleasant surprises.
Thank you. Okay, we'll continue on a couple of more points here, and we will be done. This is an interesting fact that I think will probably, if you remember anything from the energy session, I think this will be the thing that you will remember. According to a new study by Bloomberg New Energy Finance, published very recently on October 16th of this year, wind power is now the cheapest source of electricity in both the UK and Germany, even without government subsidies. It's news to me. I think it's news to a lot of people in a lot of sectors of energy production. This is a first for any G7 economy and is attributed to the technological advances in energy efficiency and power storage. So a couple of follow-on questions just to this. Has wind energy development affected the cost of energy to consumers in Romania, and if so, how? I mean, this is a big problem in Greece, where people see a separate allocation on their electricity bill for the renewable energy thing. So I'd like to see what the Romanian experience is. And the second question is, what is the short to medium-term outlook for the trend in wind energy costs in relation to other energy costs? And thank you.
I would answer to the first question. Definitely we saw seeing and paying back the investments. It is indeed the renewable energy it's a different chapter on any end consumer bill. On the end consumer bill, we didn't reach the point on which the overall invoice have decreased, but mainly due to the fact that still a large part of the market is regulated for the private households. What we saw alternatively, we saw on the pure trading of the energy, when all the producers coming from conventional or from renewable are meeting each other on the online platform of the trade of the operator, you see the pressure from renewable energy on decreasing the price of the acquisition between the suppliers. We saw, and also the nuclear energy and the thermal energy, they saw this pressure, so they had to also to adapt their plans, to look on the cost and to try to increase the efficiency of their capacity. This is the first impact that we saw, and that is visible and have been recognized by the authorities and by players in the market. Now, once we will fully deregulate the whole electricity market, we will see the same impact on everybody's energy bill. It's a trend that is moving, and from the renewable sources, I know that there are studies and estimations or assumptions that somewhere latest 2020, the wind will be able to, and the renewable sources will be able to self-sustain themselves, and they will be able to be completely on par with oil and gas from the trading perspective. This is due to the fact that technology is evolving, that the costs of the technology is constantly decreasing. We saw highest decrease in the solar industry due to the huge competition. Part of it coming also from China, and which is putting also pressure on the European industry. For the wind, we saw also improvements in the technology which are coming with lowering the cost of the investments, and we saw the levelized cost of energy constantly decreasing year of the year. So definitely renewable, it's a part that will be used in the future. What is also really clear, and was clear also for us, that anyhow and in any country, and more interesting will be to have in the region a fair mix between the technologies, because we need all of them, as long as they are clean, as long as their costs are transparent, and that not part of them are covered by some strange subsidies. This is the key for the future and for a sustainable supply of energy, not in Romania, but I would say in the region.
Thank you very much. Can I just ask one, so it's a Romania-specific question. Since it's been a while since I've actually traveled to your country, is there a part of the country where the wind energy production is concentrated? You would, of course, think either by the ocean or in the mountains, but it may be that it's spread across the whole country.
No, it's not spread. There is a specific pattern, and practically it's the Broja region, which is between the Danube and the Black Sea, when all the wind studies reported, let's say, the largest.
So that's flat terrain.
Yeah, it's flat terrain, and it's having a specific constant wind pattern coming from northeast. The same you'll see it across the eastern border between Romania and Moldavia. There have been also some surprises that there are some spot locations on which the wind and the production of the capacities are overpassing the estimation. So still we are in a learning curve. The only weakness, and it's a plan on which the authorities and the electricity transport operator is working now, is that having the concentration of the renewable in one part will definitely create and put some pressure on the evacuation lines. That's why one of the most ambitious investment plans of Transelectrica, which is the national grid operator, is to create and open more connection lines with Moldavia, with Ukraine, with Bulgaria, and also with Serbia.
Thank you.